This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So last session we have done with how to create virtual instantial machines. Okay. So we have gone through the steps. First, you select uh, that means OS. You select the uh, availability zones, and then the advantage with Azure instances, virtual instances, you can provide usernames with passwords. That's what we have advantage. Right? And you can create them under some resources. Okay, you can create some resource code and you can create resource codes. So that's one more comparison. The resource code concept is not available in AWS. And then even you cannot log into instances with the help of passwords. Okay. But AWS Azure also provides the concept of login with SSH private keys as well. Of course, we have both concepts. And then so let's try with volumes. Volumes in the say like we know the volumes concept, right? So here we call them disk. Okay. Let's see how to create this, how to attach them, and then how to detach them, and what kind of actions we can take on this like EBS simply, right? In AWS we have elastic block storage. Here they call them disk. Okay. And then we talk about snapshots. Okay. So now, firstly, let's move on to base instance and go to virtual instance. And then, so this is our instance. Okay. And under this, you can see currently the instance is stopped actually. Yesterday we stopped. No. So for this instance, I like to and take in capture. Okay. Click on capture. So what exactly capture? It is going to an images. So which is an pack. Right? So we're taking instance backup. So which in terms of AWS we call them images AMI. So while you create your instance, capture your an image. Okay, so we are creating an image. Before you create image, this first submission can be so deallocated automatically, and you can share the image. Okay, like that. So now going with select the resource group. I would like to go with the same resource group because so let's say I'm working a kind of the same kind of a project. So everything related to the project, I like to maintain everything on same resource group. So which is that's a resource group. And then so regions. Okay, why this region? Since yeah, instance is available in the region, so it is selected already. Right? Yeah. And then your you want to share it to image with some gallery. Gallery as an image version means gallery means. So you see that list of images, right? So when you create an instance, see the list of images. That is what called in gallery. Okay. So you want to have your instance available in that gallery, you can go with that. Otherwise, no. Just capture and manage only. Okay, you can do that. Right. So go with okay. And then what else? Image gallery. Okay. You want to create kind of a gallery over here. You can create a gallery. And then so in which region you want to have your image available, that is what I said, right? in which region you want to have the image available, what is that name. So you want to create your, so go with that. Okay, so my gallery, let's say, create new gallery, but the gallery will be available in US East region. Now again, same thing, why US East? Since my instance is available in US East. Okay, and then so target image destination. So just say create one destination. I create a destination, image destination. Okay, so image definition first of all, not destination, sorry, definition is set. So image definition. So let's say my image definition is Ubuntu 1. Okay, Ubuntu, and publisher canonical means like publisher means you want to provide some name of the definition. So who is creating? Let's say I'm creating. Let's say you can give a name. Let's give name. And then offer in the sense, like again, these are like basic details. They have different naming conventions. Like offer means, so why you are creating, what kind of image you are creating. Let's say I'm creating my image. Description again, you say. Okay. So let's say my goal, and then so dev instance, let's say dev instance image. Okay. And this is an unique number. Number is kind of a unique number. So and it maintains a kind of unique number for this. In my case, I would like to say, so give some version number. So what kind of OS I have, I would like to provide some version number. You can provide the version number of image. That's okay. Let's do with that. Okay. Okay. And then now this is again the same thing. So version details. Now currently I'm going with some 1.0.0 something. Okay. And then and end of live date. So when this last date, I mean, so when after this date, image won't be available for user. Okay, the last date you can here mention something last date. So you can provide some last date, probably let's say 30th April. Okay, after that image available, the last date, type date. I mean. Okay, and then how many default replicas, how many you like to create? So they like grade 1, 2, or 3. So this is what this is a very good option, right? So this option, so you can't find it in AWS again. In AWS, you can create just an image, but there's no option called. This option was also not there in AWS. Like, so when do you want to end that image, the live date, last date, and then so and also this one, so counts. So this kind of options you don't come across in AWS, right? So and even the gallery option, right? This option and in which region. So all these options are so which are something new in Azure. Then the target regions, of course, it has to be like and target. So how many? So let's say, for example, I'm going to change my replicas 3. Okay. So I want to create my first replica under US East 1 and second replica under which one? Let's say somewhere south in here. So okay, and here I like to create 2. Let's say it's loading. Just a second. Okay, and then select one more. This is too slow. Somewhere in here. Okay. Well, okay. So here let's say 3 again. Now you can select the different regions, right? You can select the different regions. So wherever you like to create, you can select different regions. But how this can be achieved in AWS, you just create an image, then you copy the image, right? That's it. So, but here, while image, it's, you have the option to put your replicas, okay, in other regions. You don't need to copy the images again after they are created, right? So next is, let's go on next. Just provide some if you like, or I'll just leave it. So validation passed. Then we can download a template for automation. You want to download a template? You can also download the template. So okay, let's see. So the template, the whole information it has made up. This template. 1 second. I think it's it. So for example, say, so we need this purpose kind of when you do stand up scripting. So we need this. So where you're creating and how you're creating. But, anyway, so now create that again. Create it. So I think that's it. So that's my gallery. So it's really it's in progress. You can check it on the resources my gallery. So that's a resource. It's available. Now back to that. Is it deployment done yet? And so regarding the credit, okay, they provided. So this take credit, you can use it. Okay. So until date is expired, that means and you have used all credit or within 13 days. Okay. So this credit will expire in 3 days. And then, so this credit, you cannot use it for, so as your subscription. So we have subscription types, right? These subscription types do not use the credit. So this is only for free trial use that is for free trial only. If you want to experience other type of services which don't come under free trial, then you need to pay as you go to upgrade your subscription. Okay. It's still yet drawing. Well, I'll go back to the home now. So that is your, so going, the image is image and image. You can see the image definition. You can find that under resources. Okay, what is the resource I have created? Go to the resource scopes. Go to resource scopes, and only so capital one resource scope. Okay, capital one resource. So under the resource group, we have that resource. Okay. So just okay. So there is your window one image. See that image. So everything is there with that resource group. Okay. So that's the benefit. Now you go to the resource group now. I mean, sorry, image under the scope. And from that snapshot from the image I have created, I can create a virtual machine. Okay. Now create a virtual machine. Now we'll be in the same step of launching virtual machines. Yeah, so back to virtual machine. Okay. So where is my image is selected? So that image is selected already. That's my image. So since I have made that image available under US East, okay, under that region, so I can check my image there. Okay. So if I select a different region, I change my region there. Okay. We can only create region, replicate regions. See that? So since my replication is available in the other region, so I cannot select it. So I cannot select the other ones. Okay. So that is the meaning of image Italian. Okay. So wherever your image is created, and go to the region, and you can launch your images from that region, and they will be available under that particular region. Yeah. And as usual, you can just launch images by following all this again. Okay. You can go with everything as usual, select new and then passwords, SSHs if you want, and then as usual. Okay. So this is how you create the images. Now just cancel it. And how to launch as well, launching images. And then so that's image. So let's find out, do we have any other options here? So change the image configuration something. Okay. And image versions, of course, we have this image images of versions there. Okay. The version you want to add a new version, you can just add a new version. Okay. And going with, so they find out what is under configuration. There won't be much information about configuration. So like this is like recommended, how much recommended. So if you want to have your instance, okay, and then I like to just say how many CPUs, let's say 4 CPUs. That's recommended value. It's not mandatory, but that is recommended. Because when you launch an EM from this image, okay, and there, so you'll be able to see recommended, right? So your instance type, instances, same thing. This instances will be appearing. So your memory, how much memory, let's say about, so this much memory. That's recommended. So end date, okay, again the same thing, end date. So live date end. Okay, then but that is not required. So and go with the logs, and the log is for, I think this is for what we call them, users. Okay, so when you have users and IAM kind of users, so you can lock it. So, okay, let's try that, but we don't have any kind of lock name, but lock type. Okay, but just put some lock type here. The lock type is, let's say, no modifier. Let's say no modified. So it is read only. Okay, that means no one can modify this. It's only read only. So this cannot be modified. So it is like, so write protected. So you want to make your images write protected. So this is useful in the kind in especially. So we have some users concept. We have some IAM users, and for those users, okay, I want to provide some restrictions. For example, let's say I have given an access to an IAM user. We talk about the IAM users. IAM users are nothing but, so so we know that concept, but here we call them active directories. Okay, so there you can see. So we call them Microsoft account or switch directory. That means switch directory means active trace. We call them active directory. We talk about it, just like IAM users. And for those IAM users, and I don't want my image to be modified, you can go with solid only. Then image cannot be modified. Yeah, right. So and you want to make it kind of automation. So task, just loading and add it. Okay. So send cost to resource every month. So I want to make it that, select that template, go with next. So we're going to make it automated. Okay. So what do you mean by automated? So I want to make my image taken automated. So for this instance, okay. So for this instance, I want to make my image create automated. So this is what is, okay. Now, so how do you get, you want to mention some email ID over here, just mention some, let's say, email ID. And then, so you just go with that task name, give some name. Okay, next, go with next. Create validation required message. What was missing here? I think it's all good. Create, not validate. Where is it missing? What happened? Yeah. Well, where is it from? So that is your in there, of course. Start. So we are in capital one go. Okay, I think I missed it, but I can go to that. So okay, we got a message project successfully. Okay, fine. Discard. I discard everything. Okay. Go to the group again, or else you can go to that. Here also we have a message, deployment successful. Go there, deployment successful, and go to resource. And also you can find that same image. Now just go with, and you want to make it task, and then add a new task. So where you like to take that automated. Okay. Then go with next, authentication. Okay, so Azure Resource Manager. Okay, we need these things. Okay, this is the one thing which is required under authentication. So what is this? So with some resource manager, okay, you need to create some accounts over here. If you have your, okay, so this is like monthly, we take that monthly, right? We take that image monthly. But so whenever you provide your monthly images, those images will be saved under Microsoft Resource Manager or else Office 365. If you have any accounts, you just create account, you log into the accounts, and once it is done, then your images versions, monthly images versions will be available under this. Okay, so this is like something we can those images versions, automated images, you need to maintain under Resource Manager or else Office 365. So that is required, and then you can mention the email ID so and so. Okay. But there is just a bit drawback because why they cannot manage everything on Azure because of space issues or whatever is so. And more these are like monthly so cost. These are cost. This is not for free because this Azure Resource Managers in the Office 365 that will cost us. Okay. But images will be maintained there. That, so just back here, let's close it. So these are the images, and then now go back to the volumes main disk. So where do you see them? You can see them under again the virtual machines, or else go to all services. So under compute itself, you have disk. Okay. Now, so you want to create a disk. So just create a disk. Just add a disk. So again, so we have only free trial account, and if you have any other account, select the account and the resource group. So we have only one resource group. That's the resource group we have created, and this is a default resource group created by Azure. But this is what like we are managing everything under one capital one resource group. Go with that, and then and this name. So let's say disk one for Ubuntu instance one. Okay, so for that instance, I'm creating my disk, and then the region. So I think we know these concepts, right? So if you create your uh, volume main disk under that region, so you can attach that to so that particular instance only. So create that, and then so availability zone, select the availability zone, and source type. Okay, so there it is, the source type. Okay, and then a storage block. So go with the so storage block. We'll talk about it. Storage block is nothing but this is kind of what we call we have S3 kind of buckets. Okay, so you have S3 buckets, and you want to store that kind of you are creating a volume disk for that kind of storage, so you can go with the storage. For snapshot purpose, so that means you are creating what is snapshot. I think we know that snapshot is nothing but our volume backup. You're creating it for the backup purpose. Anyway, go with it, and then look at the size, and then the premium SSD, right? Okay, I want to change the size. Probably we'll go with that. So 4K, that should be enough. And so you see that. So the drawback here is Azure, they have not provided options something like in AWS. AWS, you can create a volume of your required size, but there is no custom size here, right? So there's no custom size. It's all like you must select them. Okay, existing ones, premium SSD or standard SSD, and standard SSD. So you see that, remember this ones, SDD, and then also ultra disk, non-critical ones. So with SSD, this is for non-critical purpose. Okay, and then premium SSD for production level purpose, and standard SSD is for like let's say web server kind of thing, and standard SSD. Then so the sizes, you see the sizes here. The sizes are actually limited, right? So this limited, so we cannot customize them. So that's a drawback, however. And you can see that for this standard SSD, so maximum burst IOPS, okay, maximum burst throughput, and maximum like provision throughput. So there is no value for this here. Right? So that is why it's for non-production purpose. Okay? It's for non-production purpose. If you go with standard SSD, okay, one second, let me show you for premium SSD. Okay, now they have is throughputs maximum. So burst throughput, maximum burst throughput means maximum how much it can handle, and then your provision DevOps, right? Your provision DevOps, and then go with that standard SSD, and they also have provision DevOps. So well, now we have two drawbacks here with this in Azure disk. The first drawback is you cannot select your required volume size. That's one thing. And there is no option provided here to select our required IOPS, right? That is also not provided. We don't have those two options. Okay, so we must select only the existing one. Well, go with the standard SSD. Okay. So which is for non-production purpose, say, okay, set the first one, T2, select it 4 GB, 4 GB. Okay. So the options here, I think so they are provided. Okay, they provide some options here. At the bottom they have it. Okay, fine. But can I go with these custom ones? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, fine. It can be customized now. Yeah, I can see that now. I'm sorry. So now it can be customized, but this kind of options were not there in the past. I did not realize that. Okay. So and then, but if you want, you can go with the predefined ones. These are all predefined ones. If you want to go with the predefined ones, something like 4 or 8 something, or let's say 5 something. Now, okay. But still, that is a drawback. Throughput is a drawback, right? Throughput is a drawback. I cannot select maximum IOPS. So, yeah. Anyway, next. This is kind of encryption, the volume encryption. So that's the default encryption. Go to the next one, and networking. And you have, so you want to create some under kind of private endpoints and your private, so networks you want to create them, but you can create them under your private networks. Okay. Anyway, go with that public. So that means public means all the networks on my Azure. Okay, all networks can access this. So public endpoint means all networks. Okay. So you can import that, export publicly or privately using a private endpoint. That means from any network I can access this. So that. So you might be having multiple networks. So if you have multiple networks, and from those networks you can access them if you go with public endpoints. If you go with private means, so that is only for so particular network. Okay, go with public, and then so sharing, that's okay. Just leave that advanced, and then tags. I'm creating one, so it's doing a validation. Validation is fast, and finally, so this is the volume I'm creating. Then so go to create. this is being deployed. So deployment success. Okay, so that's success. And go to the resource. Okay, so this is a volume is ready. Okay, now I want to attach this volume to the instance. Okay, so how do I do that? You see that there is no options created here. So if you want to pass them to, so so this is, for example, this is my volume, right? This is my disk. I want to attach to instance, so I cannot do it from here. The option is not there. But you can change all these things. I mean, you can change, resize them. You can perform all these actions. However, now I want to attach to instance. If you want to attach to that instance, so let me just find out did they introduce any kind of options from here first. I think it is not there. I don't think so. It's not there. And then we must go to the instance. From there we can attach it back to the instance. And that's our name. Disk one Ubuntu instance one. So you can find it from the resource groups again. Go to the resource groups and you can find from there resource groups. So that's our resource group. So let me find that. So from the resource groups, or else you can find it from the disk. Just scroll down. So that is my disk. Okay. Find the disk over here. So same thing. And you can find this disk even from the go to disk options. So you can find the disk. Anyway, now where is our instance? Instance one Ubuntu. That's our instance. And then and here on the left hand side, your options for the disk. Okay, let me go to the disk. And then so that's, you see that this is the one, yeah, instance on Ubuntu. That is the default one we have. That's the default one, but I want to attach a new one. Okay. So go with that. There's an option called create and attach. There, you see that, create and attach a new disk. So click on that, and then so these are the serial numbers, you can say, and of whenever you load your instance, and how in what sequence, when you run your instance, in what sequence you want to load your instance. Okay, so logical unit numbers, so in sequence they have some sequence, so in that sequence, so within that VM, so there must be some unique data, right, in what sequence you want to load them. Okay, so that is for sequence. And then the disk name, but what I want to do, I don't create a new. Okay, I already have one, so I want to go with attach an existing disk. But so just a second, let me just go through. Okay. Disk name, see that this is the one we have. Just a minute, I just remove that, remove both of them. 1 second. And then go with attach. Okay, this is for create and attach. Okay, and this is for attach existing volumes. I want to attach it. Okay. And then again select the sequence. Okay. And then go with the disk name. What is the disk name I have created? The disk name was, that is the one I have created. Disk one Ubuntu, so instance one. That's my disk name. And then storage and everything else same. And then to save it here. Failed to validate virtual machine. Failed to error. Okay, I think this is now success or not. Just a second. Doing it again. So operated the VM instance from this VM is, what was that error? 1 second. Let's find out. VM is, since VM is generalized. Okay, my VM is generalized. So, so this means, what is my instance status firstly? So back to the instance. Okay. So instance status is not running, it's start the instance. So it is loading. Still loading. 1 second. Okay. So let me explain. So once it is loaded, so I'm starting to start my instance. So let's find out once that is the instance is started. So can I start? Can I attach that volume again? So I'm just checking whether it's a problem with the instance status. But that is, I think that is not problem with instance state. I'll explain. Okay, ready? Still connecting. Just refresh. So it's not started yet. For the status, okay, I think it's not yet started. Uh, so well, I just wanted to show you that, but it's taking a while, but nothing we can do. So we just keep wait. Start the instance again. Now, failed to launch start virtual machine. So that was error because error start VM is not allowed in Ubuntu since the VM is generalized. Okay. So now what is VM generalized? So you just look at your snapshot. We have taken an image, right? So remember that. So we've taken an image. Okay. And moreover, to the disk again, go to the disk. Did I attach that volume? Is it attached? So let me attach the volume. And then this is the one. And then it's an option, save option, save it. Okay. So you say that VM is not allowed. VM is VM is generalized. So you go to the disk again, back to the disk, and whenever you just create a disk, actually you need to take a backup of it. Okay, you take a backup. Just take a backup. So where is my disk? Go back to the disk. So the volume, that's the disk. Okay, and then so you just take a snapshot of this. Okay, I'm taking a snapshot. So once the snapshot is taken, so we can proceed with attach that to volume to the instance. So we need to create a snapshot. So let's snapshot concept. So taking a backup of the instance of the disk. And then name, let's say Ubuntu instance 1 volume, or you can say disk 1 snapshot. Okay, and then storage, just go with the default one, storage and all things, and go with the next thing, review and tape. Okay, so is it created? So see, this is and kind of something different forms. So we need to make whenever we are attaching volumes, okay, new volumes are we just take snapshot of volumes. Once snapshots are taken, then you'll allow to attach the volumes so to the instance. So this is something different. And also let me check that out. So whether do I need to take the primary volume backup as well, primary volume snapshot. I think we know the primary root volume means. Okay, so go to the root volume and also let me check. So do I need to take the backup of the primary volume? Okay, so let's see, because we are attaching this another secondary volume. So before we attaching a secondary volumes, do I need to manage my primary volume backup? So let's find out. Anyway, first try this. Go to the instance, and then I like to add one. No, there is an instance. Ubuntu instance 1. Okay, and then so go to the disk and find out. So attach the existing disk. Okay. Just attach one and disk name. So this is the disk name, and then so I just want to save it. Then we'll find out it is allowed. Okay, otherwise we may have to take the yes, it's not allowed. So you may have to take the so backup of the root volume. Okay, now go to the volume root volume, click on the root volume now. And also I get snapshot of this. Okay. So go with name is so Ubuntu instance 1 Ubuntu, and then so primary volume snapshot. Okay, good. So create one. Just create it. Yeah, that's in this. So the reason is, so I have taken an image for the instance. That is the reason it's asking me so to take the backups of the volumes, which is called serialized. You need to manage, need to maintain the back of the volumes. So that is snapshots. Okay, these are the snapshot. You can find them in the snapshot. That's a snapshot. Anyway, so it is ready. Now let me find out now. Back to the home page, and then let's see our instance. That's our instance. Okay, then disk, then attach it, and then upgrade. Still same error of operation update VM is not allowed. Once it, let me check out. So it's not doing this. So since VM is generalized, fail to update virtual machine. So it's still getting the same issue. Well, let me find out. So is it because of okay, just a second. Just okay. And even let me find out. So what is happening with my instance status? It's my instance is done. Can I start my instance? I'm just wondering, can I do it? So if that is happening, so then also alternate since I have taken capture an image. So we need to so go to the capture. So this is something weird. That's what I said. Okay. Since I already have captured an image, now that image we use it to so launch an instance. Okay, so this is what I don't understand why. Okay, why they follow this kind of concept. Now you see that. So I thought they might have like introduced some kind of new things, but I still it's same thing. Now you see that I go to my which one we have created. The capture I have captured that one, right? So image, you see that image, that's a capture. I have that. Now go to the image now. I need to image. Okay, since the backup is taken from that point onwards, so you need to make sure you take the snapshot, you that each and in that image to launch your instance. That image, that instance will be your so new instance, but it isn't anyway. You see that now from this point onwards, need to work with this is something different. So the why they have so now they can do something like in AWS. Just take your image. Then as usual, you start working on your new instance, I mean existing instance. Why do you create new instance? This is something. Well, you need to go with again and all these things that. So go with that again. So let's say virtual machines name. Let's say new Ubuntu instance 1. Okay, and then go with everything as generalized. So everything as usual. So password, whatever, just go with the next step. I'm not changing anything here. Just go with the next. But here I would like to do one thing. Since I want to attach that volume, we'll be attaching from here itself. So you see that I want to attach volume. I can attach volume. So go with that existing volume. This is the one I've created. Now I can do that. So change that number is to 1. Then go with next. Now after you launch it, you'll be having 2. So you can do it even after the instance is launched. But since I'm launching instance, I'm just doing it. So going with the review and then create straight away. So just go with that create. How so even the new volume is attached. Or else you can do it from there itself. So it's asking you to generate a key pair. Okay, let's download the key pair because I think I have selected the key pair concepts. So I'm just downloading the key pair. Let's download it. Now then I'm going with retail create instance. Okay. So well it should be create PM and then deployment is progress. Okay, that is study. And go to the resource. Have the instance study. So this is now which one? PM. Right. So back to our instance, right? We are in the image, I think so. Back to the home page. So that's a new instance. And now here it is your new Ubuntu instance. So it's already running. You can stop it. But now from here you can now go with that. You can find out the new two disks we have. Okay, so that's a disk. You see that, and you want to attach. So another one, create a new attached disk. Create and attach. You can create and attach new disk. You can do it straight away from here itself. Instead of going to the volumes, you can do it from here. And then, so let's say disk 2, and then for Ubuntu instance 1 and go with that standard STD, and then the size, select the size, so go with the size, and then must be between the value range between standard STD LRS, go with LRS. That's the option. It's not there. That's okay. Go with it. It's asking for minimum 32. And then so sit. Now I can dash it. Because previously it was generalized. Generalized means for that instance only have taken a backup. You captured the image for that. So since image is captured, then from that point onwards, so you cannot start your instance anymore. So you need to create a new instance at that point. Okay. So yeah, and then you have here the swap host list. Click on the swap OS test. Any other so OS you like to swap it, but you must have already an OS disk available if you want to swap it. So you remember, so in AWS I have given the scenario. I have two instance 1, instance 2. Okay, I want to swap them. Then what do? You just take instance 1 image, instance 2 image, then you change the images over, swap the images. The same thing. But here they have straight away provided that option here itself to swap that. But before that, make sure you have a disk available for that. Okay, you don't need to go with the creating snapshots over here. Okay, you don't need to do it manually. You can. They have provided option here itself, so that's an advantage. So straight away you can just do it from here. So but whereas in AWS, you go with image and take an image. You go with instance, take an image, and do the same thing for second instance, and then you swap the images. To stop them, you swap them. But here you can do it. So from this option. But this is so some things which are some very useful, but except this generalized option. So don't know why it is. But anyway. So this is how you can just manage your instances and volumes, snapshot, you can capture them. And then also you have some options here. So you can reset the password. So I created instance, but I forgot the password. You can reset the password. Go with that. Just give it the username, and then so reset the password here. And then username, password, and then confirm password. Okay, and reset them. Okay. And then yeah, probably you also have go with the option connection troubleshoot. So click on the connection troubleshoot. If you have any kind of issues, I mean SSH kind of issue, you can see issues over here. Any issues so far? If you have any issues, you can see them. So and again, these ones are inbound or outbound routes. Okay. So for example, I have those. You remember when you connect two instances, you get options called so connection failure. So in those kind of cases, so you just come to inbound rules and outbound rules. We know these ones very well, right? Inbound, outbound rules. So you can set them inbound, and then so again the same things: connection resource, and then you have my IP addresses, any IP, other IP addresses, decider blocks. Okay, so these are decider block. You can enter the decider block over here. So enter the decider block something like this. Dot 1/16. Okay, 16 is not allowed. Sorry. So even same thing in with those. 24 is not a decided block, but I can instead use 0 also. It's a default one, right? Sorry, so the default one 0. Now this is okay. Decided blocks and do the same things for it for outbound connections. Okay. So you can find them under connection troubleshoots. Okay. There is nothing called kind of security kind of things. We don't call them security groups. We call them connection troubleshoots. There you can have it. Okay, fine. Remember that option. And then, so in next session on next Saturday, so we'll go through the remaining topics. So like we talked about, so setting up the monitoring concepts, setting up, and then also web security concepts. We'll talk about rest of things, auto scaling, load balancing. We'll talk about. Okay, right. So questions. I will be sharing videos probably after the session. I'll be sharing the videos. I haven't got the email IDs so from the team. So once I get email IDs, I will be sharing it. Okay. Right. Yeah. Questions?
Sir, are you giving any documents, sir?
Any
Or
documents for?
written documents?
No, there is nothing documentation for Azure. You have only videos.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir.